I am not one to call something just straight up dead. And I know there are those who would say it's over for Disney. They are dead. They cannot come back. They have issues and a lot of issues they have to work through. Can they come back to the place they once were? Can they return to prominence? I don't know that they will ever be in the role they once were. I'm just not sure they will go away. Now, the reason I led with that when talking about The Incredibles is the first Incredibles was one of those movies where you wonder if Disney still has it. Can they release something new that can really like capture the audience? And they did it. It was lightning in a bottle. Incredibles 2. So let me see. How many years were between the two Incredibles movies? Because I remember it was a long time. Let's see if I can find out. Give me a second here. 1 second. I need to start looking up this stuff before I start. So let's see. Okay, so there are 14 years between The Incredibles, which released in 2004, and Incredibles 2, which released in 2018. Now, I'm not gonna, bother looking into why that is. There's probably a myriad of reasons why there was so much time between these two movies. But let's see how well. Let me see how well did each of them do in the box office. And this is, I'll tell you what. Hold on. How well did each do in the box office? This is where I think AI can be good. You can't necessarily trust everything you get from AI. So take what I say from these searches right here with a grain of salt. But AI is a good aggregate of information, but I don't know if AI is as useful as people think it is because it is often wrong. So that's why I say take these stats with a grain of salt, check behind, but it does make for easy and quick search. Okay, so The Incredibles had a $92 million budget. That may or may not be true. The worldwide box office was about 631 million. Uh, Domestic was about 261 million. International 370 million. Okay, the budget for Incredibles 2 was 200 million. That's crazy. Now, obviously there's a lot of time in between both those movies, so I can see there being a difference in technology and cost, inflation and all that stuff, but man, 200 million versus 92 million is nuts. Worldwide box office, wow, 1.2 billion for the second Incredibles. That's actually crazy. Domestic 608 million, international 634 million. And it gives a key factual comparison. Incredibles 2 earned nearly double the worldwide total of the first film. It became one of the highest grossing animated films of all time. Wow, that is actually crazy. I'll have to do some fact checking and see if that is true. As I said, the results you just heard were from AI. AI is good for quick search and quick results. But if you're going to be accurate, check those quick results because there's a lot of things AI gets wrong. Maybe it'll be better in the future and be able to do more and do it more accurately right out the gate. But as of now, yeah, not so much. Anyway, I was getting to the time frame in between the movies and the fact that Incredibles 2 was actually good, which is surprising because typically when there is a really large gap in between movies, the second movie doesn't always turn out good. Now, there's not as large a gap, obviously, between that second one and what we're going to see from this coming third one. The reason I bring all of this up, can Disney capture lightning in a bottle for the third time? Now, they have had their issues. There are people who take issue with many things Disney has done, but it appears, and I've said this before, that they're trying to make corrections. Now, those corrections may be too little too late. People may look at this and go, no, we're checked out. We're not coming back. But I see moves like this and I say, okay, let's see what they do. I lead with all of that because invariably, which I don't mind. Again, I always say I don't mind people in the comments that have issue with my um I won't call it excitement, with my interest in things coming up from companies like Disney's. People have written them off and they don't want to hear anything positive about these companies at all. I get it, but I personally don't think they are so far gone that they're just going to go away and die. Again, will they be what they once were? Probably not, but I don't think they're going to go away, shrivel up, and die. Anyway, said all of that. Now let's get to this article right here from cosmicbook.news. Pixar announces Incredibles 3 release date. Pixar has officially announced Incredibles 3, with the movie set to hit theaters on June 16th, 2028. So that would be 10 years. So 15 years between the first movie and 14 years, excuse me, between the first movie and the second movie, and 10 years between the second movie and the third, which is kind of crazy. But, sometimes good things take a while. Good things don't always happen overnight. So maybe that's what this is all about. The reveal came through Pixar's social media with the simple message, Showtime. Incredibles 3 is coming to theaters June 16th, 2026. The announcement gives Disney and Pixar fans something major to look forward to, as Incredibles 3 is now locked in for summer 2028, a summer 2028 release. Disney does need a summer blockbuster. Now, here's my opinion. I think they can pull this off, but ultimately it's going to depend on how they approach this. Disney, if they were to create something new that was just good, because word of mouth goes a long way. I'm willing to give something a chance, something new a chance. I don't always just go off what I see from commentators or reviewers. And I would advocate you, the audience, do the same thing. Even if I say I didn't like something, or if I don't cover it, as you know, if I don't like it, I'm not going to cover it. That doesn't mean you won't like it. And a lot of times I've liked things and thought things were good that other people thought, didn't like so much. And I think Disney has an opportunity, and this is the opportunity they have. Focus on quality. Make something so good, so universally good, that word of mouth propels this thing. And I think personally that is the way they can get out of their slump. You're not necessarily going to do it with PR campaigns. You're not necessarily going to do it off of your history, because that's not working for them at this moment. But if you just create something so good that the quality and the entertainment value is undeniable, word of mouth will carry it. Disney has the money to do this. That's the thing. They have the money to do this. Will they? That remains to be seen. That date puts the sequel almost exactly 10 years after Incredibles number 2, which arrived in theaters in 2018 and became a massive hit for Pixar. Yeah, Incredibles number 2 was good. It was good. When you see a movie like this, it's almost never as good as the first movie, just because nostalgia carries, right? That first Incredibles movie for a new Disney IP was so good and so enjoyable that it, in my mind, it would have been hard for the second movie to capture that same feeling. Doesn't mean the second movie wasn't better. I personally don't think it was better, but it also wasn't bad. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, actually. But there's something about the feeling of that first movie and how good it was for me being a new IP that you can't redo that. Okay, at the moment, Pixar hasn't released any story details, casting updates, or a first synopsis. So for now, the big news is simply that the Parr family is officially coming back. And they show the Pixar post, which look, I I see why they did it this way. We're in a new era. We're in a new era, and things have to be done differently. You can't keep doing things the same way. And it's taken some of these companies a while to figure this out, but it looks like they're figuring it out. You don't have to, and that's another thing. A lot of these big companies, they really don't have to spend all of the money they do on marketing. They have exorbitant budgets, and there's really simple things they can do to mitigate that. And I'll give you an example. If Pixar were to leak out some stuff, leak out some details of the script, leak out a clip from the movie, do you know how many people on social media alone will for free cover this, talk about this, propel this? That's free marketing. You got, and this is what I believe they are doing with Avengers Doomsday. I think they're slow leaking a lot of things for free marketing, and I think by far and large, it's actually working. It's like somebody there is learning something. Now, this doesn't mean they're out of the woods. I'm not saying that. I'm not naive. Somebody somewhere in the know at Disney is learning something. The timing is also worth noting. The Incredibles 3 announcement arrives the same day as Disney's new leadership structure officially takes effect. New leaders come in, you want to make your mark. They were probably coming in saying, conversations go on behind the scenes even before leadership gets in place. So they're probably saying and trying to see what news can we release to kind of show that there's a new sheriff in town. Just a guess. As of March 18th, Josh D'Amaro has officially become CEO of Walt Disney Company, replacing Bob Iger. At the same time, Dana Walden has stepped into the newly created role President and Chief Creative Officer, reporting directly to D'Amaro. Walden's new role is a first for Disney, and Disney says she will help oversee storytelling and creative direction across the company. Her expanded team now includes Disney film, television, streaming, and games leadership, games leadership under a broader Disney entertainment structure. She has a lot of roles. My hope is that she has people close by her and under her that specialize in a lot of these things, because that's a lot for one person to keep hold of. Not that it can't be done. There are people that are savants and they can do multiple things, wear multiple hats, and be super successful. But that's not every person. There's specific people who can do that. Right now, fans are left waiting on other big questions. There's still no official word on plot, villain returning cast, or who is directing. But Pixar has now made one thing clear. Incredibles 3 is real, and it's heading to theaters in the summer of 2028. We'll see what Pixar does with that. This may work in their favor. This may be something real good. I'm not going to say out the gate without having more details, oh, this is going to be great. There's no way of knowing that. Let's see how they handle this, who they get to direct this, what the plot is, and if they're able to capture lightning in a bottle once more.